If you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport's Same Game Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Gamble responsibly.
Well, who would have thought a rainbow would cause so much stir? Welcome back to another edition of the Same Game Multi Podcast. Thank you again for tuning in for round 20. Can't believe we're up to round 20 already. I said that last week, I think, when it was round 19, so I'll probably be saying it for the rest of the year.
Yeah, time's flying.
Bit crazy. We're going to talk all the controversy out of last week and look forward to the football this weekend. Joining me, as you'll see, is just the Bertman at the moment. Big Chesmeister is on his way, en route. So he should be here shortly, next segment, I believe. But, mate, also joining us is our main man up north, probably the only Queenslander that I think is a half-decent bloke, to be honest. And I did say half-decent, but that's Tristan Merlehan, the CEO of topsport.com.au, and he joins us on the phone now. G'day, Tristan. How are you, mate?
G'day, boys. And, I would say you're the only two New South Welshmen that I think are half-decent blokes. I can't lie, so.
Sting.
That's all right. Probably well-deserved.
Bit of a burn. How's the week been, mate, since we chatted last week?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been a interesting week in NRL. There's been a bit happening off the field, and I think everyone will be very happy to see football back when we get back onto the paddock there tomorrow night, because there's been plenty of talk about what's been happening off the field, despite there being some pretty good games over the last while too. Yeah,
definitely, and overshadowed women in league round this week as well, which is a real shame because it's a very important round for the rugby league. We'll get into that in a minute, mate, but first up we might hit our top that moment of the round from last week. I might kick us off, Berto, if that's all right.
Hit us.
For me, it was when Matty Burton, he scored a try there, got across for the Bulldogs. I actually had him as an anytime try scorer. I missed out on someone else there, I think. But when he put the big bomb up into the crowd,
someone grabbed it.
The crowd catch.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did, yeah, I did. That was in the old KFC classic catches, that one.
It was pretty good. Tristan, you might be able to confirm or deny, but there's rumours Queensland have approached him to help Murray Talangi out with a bit of catching practice. Any truth to that rumour?
Oh, I don't know. There could be. I don't know if New South Wales want to be giving away too many secrets at the moment, because I need to keep a couple up their sleeve.
True. Exactly. Need everything we can get at the moment.
Exactly right.
That was mine. It's a good catch right up there in the bloody nosebleed. At least you got the bit of action.
It was good, considering that would have been up, fair height. I've gone the same game, and that's actually Josh Addo-Carr when he ran away. I think it was his second try. Grabbed the phone from Freddie, slammed it down, and then stomped on it a couple of times, and then done the old chest rip. So I think that was a little dig at Freddie for no
message, you reckon?
No call. So yeah. Josh Addo-Carr's celebration
could very well be. What about yourself, mate? What did you like from last week?
You guys don't learn, do you? Like, you both picked the two moments from the poor old Titans defeat yet again. So.
Yes, didn't think of that.
To be fair, though, there are normally some good moments for the opposition at the moment when they're playing the Titans. It's been a very, very long season. I actually go back to Friday night where the Dragons they took on Manly in that wet weather football. I just loved the slipping and sliding of Benny Hunt underneath the arms in the wet weather and happening to dive over and score. I just sort of brought it back to the old days where it was a really enjoyable game. Everyone out there on the hill in the rain and some old style football in a 20-6 scoreline. So I think being retro round, I thought that was very apt.
Yeah, 100%. It would have been good if retro round was a few rounds back when there was that absolutely soaking field. Do you remember that?
Mate.
That would have really been just tied in the retro round completely. But yeah, good shout there, Tristan, I think as well. So
one thing about the Cogra Jubilee St George supporters, they, regardless of the weather conditions, they always get a good crowd at home.
They always got the best crowd signs too, I believe.
Yeah.
So, mate, we'll quickly touch on a few games. I just want to sort of get a gauge on how much the market swung after the Manly 7 stood themselves down. I figured it would have been fairly close when it first opened, but looking now, they're about $6.50 outsiders.
Yeah, so when it opened, it was a 2.5 line, and it was $2.10 Manly, $1.74 the Roosters. It's now $1.12 the Roosters and $6.50 Manly, and the line's going out to 18.5. So Certainly a massive swing on the back of those 7 players not playing tomorrow night. So, it's certainly impacted betting. It's impacted a lot of other things to make it miss the top 8. Obviously, this game is crucial for that. And, Manly has certainly given themselves a lot less chance of making the finals on the back of what's occurred over the last couple of days.
Yeah, not very well handled at all. We won't go too much into it. That's not our kind of show, but it could have been handled a lot better. But yeah, that's a significant swing.
Absolutely, yeah. And particularly at this point of the year, as you said, Tristan, mate, finals are on the line and hopefully they can pull it, mate. If the way I see it, there's a bigger picture, finals and whatever else. But anyway, it's terrible, and the market reflects that.
Yeah, definitely. And, so anyway, as you say, we'll leave that discussion for other people, but certainly a big impact on the betting movement on that game.
Yeah, other people that can afford lawyers.
yeah, exactly right. Tristan, mate, we'll pick your brain here. Parramatta Penrith. Mate, you got Penrith opening heavy favourites, mate, deservingly so.
Yeah, they are. Obviously, no Jerome Luai. Parramatta have managed to knock off some of the big teams despite having significant losses the week before, so they'll be hoping that trend continues. They've been well supported since we opened the market. It was $3.85 Parramatta early. They're into $3.40, and the Panthers are out to $1.32. 9.5 is the line, so it's come in from 10.5. So, been a little bit of a move towards Parramatta.
That's probably from...
Hey, it's not me.
Probably from Birdo putting that 50K on.
No, not from me. I have all faith in the boys, but I tell you what, I'll be tipping Penrith this week.
Yeah, after last week's performance, I don't know if I can pick Parramatta again this season. They frustrate me. Jeez, they frustrate me. One more game, mate, before we do let you go. Sharks up against South. Actually really looking forward to this. 3rd up against 6. South are starting to hit their straps. Sharky's obviously out with Dale Finucane. He's out for about 3 weeks for that monster head clash.
Oh, mate.
How's the market shaping up for this one, mate?
Yeah, this one's very tight, and Cronulla were pretty good against Penrith. They challenged them for a long period there last week, but they just couldn't quite get over the line. South have been such a good team with Latrell back, and I'm surprised they're underdogs in this game. I think they're on the up. It's $1.70 Cronulla, $2.15 South Sydney, and 2.5 is the line. So I suppose Cronulla, they're doing everything right at the moment, but I just feel South might have a little bit of upside there about them, particularly with no Dale Finucane, as you say.
Yeah, and you like them at home, Berto, don't you, Sharkies?
Yeah, Sharkies are always strong at home.
What do you give them, a 6 or 8 point lead?
At least. They always get a big crowd, considering half their stadium's not even finished yet. So there's always a strong crowd. They're always very vocal, and the boys turn up.
Mate, getting towards the back end of the season, this is where myself, I try and like to put on a few long-term multis and, parlay them into the grand final, teams and even the winner. What's the Premiership market looking like? Penrith, obviously, outright favourite. Who's second, third and fourth?
Yeah, so Penrith $1.95. We've actually got our Penrith v. the field market up where you can take Penrith or anyone else. Yep. $1.95 Penrith or $1.85 the field. So that's that one up there. But then the away from Penrith is very tight. Cowboys are actually into second favourite now at $8, despite only just falling over the line against the bottom place Tigers there last week. So I'm sort of surprised that they're into second pick. Cronulla at $8.50. They push Penrith a long way. Melbourne out to $9.50, fourth favourite. They're obviously on the slippery slope. Maybe you can look at a couple of these teams in that middle batch. Broncos at 13 and South Sydney. I just think South have got the biggest upside at $15. I think, in my opinion, the only way one of these other sides don't win is if Penrith probably stumble or cop a couple of injuries. So I think you want a team coming into a bit of form. And I think if South are to push, I get the feeling they might run into the finals with a bit of momentum. And to me, if you're having a little bet on someone at big odds, $15 about South, and even the Roosters at $17. I've probably been against them most of the year, but they're just making a run now. I think they've got a bit of firepower too, and you only have to. They've been very fortunate with this game this weekend, where they should get the 2 points now and will really sort of push themselves into a strong position in the 8, and they're another side that can catch fire. So I just think away from Penrith, it's a very, very even comp. Yeah,
I like South for 15. Kind of got that 09 Parramatta feel about them with Latrell. He can kind of maybe take them on that run. Obviously, if he gets injured again, there'd be curtains for them. And you mentioned Penrith, mate, a few injuries might derail them. Jerome Luai, I think he's going to be out for about 6 weeks or so they'll probably take him out to the final series. And again, like you said, if that happens, similar thing to Cleary, then that $1.92 or whatever it was might blow out a little bit as well.
Yeah, correct.
All right, mate, we'll let you go. Appreciate your time. I was actually going to ask you if there's a chance of maybe framing up a little market of a Nathan Cleary points, if he's going to score more points than maybe the Tigers for the rest of the season or something like that. When we get something framed up like that, might be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, certainly. I'll put the thinking cap on and I'll be out. I'll come up with a price for you. No worries at all.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks, mate. Tristan Merlihan, CEO of Top Sport. Head on over to the website, download the app and sign yourself up. Use the code SGM Podcast when you do. We'll chat next week, mate. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See you, buddy. Bye. Yeah, like I said, Jerome Luai. Yeah, I think they're saying indefinite, but I did hear reports
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
I heard 6 weeks as well.
Knee,
I don't know.
MCL, I think.
Is it that big a loss?
Well, they can cover it, but they can cover that.
That's what
but
I mean.
if one more goes, if Isaiah Yeo or an Happy Coruscant or Cleary goes down,
that may have come out wrong. Is it? Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a tricky one. Obviously, you don't want your six, a good quality six, going down at any point during the season, let alone the crunch end sort of thing. But the Panthers have depth.
Yeah,
realistically, I don't think Jerome Luai's done a great deal over the last couple of weeks. He's been a little bit shy. Origin showed that. It'd be interesting to see how they go. But I can't see anyone else doing them, is the problem.
No, and they can definitely cover him. I think Sean O'Sullivan comes in. We'll get to that when we preview the game. But again, if someone else goes down this week, like I said, Cleary or Coruscant or Sniper or a Isaiah Yeo, even Dylan Edwards, they can probably cover the fullback more so than the other key positions.
But Dylan Edwards is a massive workhorse too.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be able to replace him with someone as good, sort of thing? So tricky one, but fingers crossed nothing happens.
Yeah, and Stephen Crichton, I think he's out this week with that head concussion protocol as well.
Why doesn't he just wear? Remember Albert Kelly was wearing that like a weird single ear muff.
The wrestling.
Yeah.
Let's hop into.
You are off. Don't talk to me.
Our send off for this week. You've got to send anyone griping your gears.
Yeah, short and sharp. Manly players are paid professionals. They should. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it.
Be careful. We don't have to call the lawyers in.
They're paid professionals. I don't understand it. But anyway, there's a bigger picture behind that as well. So
yeah, 100%.
That's I just don't. At the same time, I'm not overly religious myself, if at all. But I just don't understand. It's funny, and this goes for Brisbane as well. When Payne Huss was talking about alcohol, Manly have to take a tough road on this. They can't go, okay, well, we can't get away. So the NRL at the same time, I'm not going to get into the Manly door. Fuck it. It's boiled me all week, but when it comes to that sort of stuff, you've got to take, unfortunately for Manly, they've got to take the high ground and they've just got to keep pushing it, because if they get away with it and they say, they go, right, we're not going to wear that jersey this weekend, then Payne Huss comes out and goes, right, well, if they got away with that, I don't want to wear one with 4X gold on it, for example. Yeah. Next minute, they're losing their jersey. And then someone who's religious against, say, punting, next minute you got Cronulla, for example, got points bet. Bang, they're gone. They won't wear that jersey while it's got points bet on it. So it's a difficult situation. It's a can of worms either way you look at it. But, I'm just glad they got around it. So.
Well, it came out, I didn't realise, when Sonny Bill came back, the Roosters actually had a different jersey just for him. It had whichever gambling company it was, taken off his jersey. And I didn't know that until it just came out this week. Obviously, that wasn't a big thing. It was, from the far shot, you wouldn't even know. And similar to the Manly boys, they're saying, well, just let the others wear the white strip. And from that far shot, you're not going to know. Again, I don't want to get into it either, but could it be a problem moving forward, given that 50% of our NRL now is, Pacific Islander nation.
Polynesian,
and a lot of their beliefs and cultural beliefs and religion doesn't allow for betting and gambling and all this kind of stuff. Is it going to affect sponsors in the long run?
I think it could. And as I said, either way you look at it, I think it's a jar of worms. Then again, gambling, alcohol, all that sort of stuff. But
there'd be just about every team in the comp would have some kind of gambling.
Absolutely.
Patch on their shorts, or I'd have to go through them and check. But there's that many of them, obviously, none better than Top Sport. But there's a lot of them that have it, and similar to the alcohol, they've either got a 4 Pines or a 4X or whatever it might be. I just wonder if it's going to be a concern for sponsors moving forward. Well, if 30% of the playing group aren't going to have our logo on their team jersey, well, we'll cut our funding by 30%.
It's funny too. Sponsors are like sugar on the cornflakes. Cornflakes are shit without it. It just doesn't work. But but anyway. But the other thing that's doing me is currently not the match review at the moment. So, for example,
Finucane.
So Finucane getting 3 weeks for that. It was an accident. Like, realistically, fair enough, 1 week for the contact, because contact was made. You can't deny that it wasn't. Then again, it was a head clash. It was careless, reckless, etc. But then the eye gouge in the Bulldogs game against Tino, you see the still footage, mate. He's not even. It's across the bridge of his beak. He's nowhere in the eye cavity, anything like that.
Yeah. I reckon if that
fucking stressful.
I reckon if that wasn't Tino that happened to, if it was Jared Wallace or Beau Fermor, there wouldn't be so much of an outcry. But because of the build-up between Pengai Jr. and Tino, and the whole Matt Burton thing,
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, I think that Huntington Beach bad boy. I think that got brought into it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And similar to Stephen Crichton, I think the injury to his ear and how graphic that looked came into the 3 weeks. I agree with probably 1 week. Yes, it was a head clash, but it was reckless, careless. But what is he meant to do? I understand the whole argument. 1 week, I think most people would have been okay with that. But 3 weeks is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And 5 weeks for like you said, what that eye gouge was. If it wasn't Tino, he might have got off with 1 or 2.
Yeah,
to be honest, I think that played into
realistically, if you're going to look at it that way, then mate, you might as well throw it all out the door. So
yeah.
And then in the Cowboys game, a bit of nonsense there. Everyone's seen that. We won't go into it. But, mate, end of the day, that's human error. The problem is, if they don't call that, is there the same reaction?
Exactly.
There is potential
on the other side.
The same reaction. So,
yeah, I don't,
mate, either way, it's not a win-win situation. Someone's going to get the raw straw.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the commentary coming out about that was, they shouldn't have been allowed to challenge. I don't have a problem with them being allowed to challenge.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And the talk about what was said between the ref, he couldn't hear all that kind of stuff. I believe that it was probably the ref saying they do have a challenge, just to remind him, because after 80 minutes, you probably lose track of whether they've retained it or whether they've actually used it in the 12th minute or whatever. So if that is the audio, I'm happy with that. It's the decision to say that he ran him off the ball that I have the issue with.
Absolutely.
You watch him from the very start, he turns and looks, he doesn't even do the sneaky one over his shoulder. He's not running directly to the ball, I'll grant him that, but he wasn't there to catch the ball. He was there to catch it in case it got tipped back by a Cowboy.
Crumbs. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you don't have to run to the ball to get that, because that can bounce anywhere. He could have run to the sideline.
See, but then you look at that. Then again, if you look at that, if he does get a touch forward and he picks that up in an offside position, technically that's a penalty. But yeah. But then I take my hat off to Val Holmes too, because that was a terrific kick under some difficult circumstances 100%. Too.
And then it came out that his foot was over the line when he actually kicked the
ball.
off.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
not to worry. Very good. I do love a bit of a send off every now and then. Get it off your chest. It's
get
good.
into it. Yeah. Generally it's short and sharp, but this week it's been a difficult week. So
it has been. Let's quickly do beer of the week. Thanks to the Whitebull Hotel. We better just keep going, give them a bit of airtime, mate. Yeah. Thanks to the Whitebull Hotel, Hawkeye and the crew down there. Head on down and get yourself drive-through bottle shop. Fantastic. Went through there just this afternoon on the way up the studio. Don't have to get out of the car. Kept the heater going. The toes are nice and warm.
How good.
It was fantastic. An old favourite of yours, mate, I believe.
Yeah, it's a real favourite. When I did TAFE for my apprenticeship for work, was in Sydney. So some family friends used to sort me out while I was down there, and the bloke the good family friends, basically might as well call him family, I suppose. He was Irish, and that was his poison of choice was Kilkenny Irish Ale, and I got on it and couldn't get off it. So
16 were you? Or?
12, but no, I was 18. Don't worry about that. So Irish Ale, brewed in Ireland, imported, mate. This is super smooth. You know when you get that. When people say, I don't like dark beers because it's like that coffee sort of taste. We have a look at that. It's
just looking at it now. It's more amber than dark. We had Guinness the other week, and it's nowhere near as dark as that.
Absolutely. So this is damn good. As I said, 5.5. The only reason why I give it 5.5 is because you can't get any more. Otherwise, it would have been 105. But yeah, these are you can't drink these out of a can. As you can hear in there, there's a ball inside there that helps you pour it when you tip it in. So if you are going to sample a couple of them bad sallies, make sure you get yourself a nice
Does it taste worse coming out of a Rooster's glass? Is that affected at all?
I don't know.
Maybe drop it back down to a 5 maybe?
No, it's damn good. Yeah, but it's a really good drop. So anyone out there that's after something that's fairly smooth and easy drinking, that's it right there. So pour it, let it settle. And you'll see the colour come through. When the colours come through, down she goes.
Right to go. Fantastic. Great review there from the Bertman. As we said, Ches isn't with us at the moment, but I dare say he would have been quite high as well. He doesn't like the real dark one, but I do believe he does like the Kilkenny. So, as we said, thanks to Whitebull, great sponsors each and every week. Head on down. They've got some great new restaurant up there as well. If you are in the Armadale area, Manny's on Marsh, some great food down in the bistro, and you got the tab and all the big screens there as well. It's a great little spot.
Yep.
We'll take a quick break. Hopefully, Ches might be with us after that. If not, we might hit a few games ourselves and get into it.
Having a bet on sport this week? Top this.
Whether you're into cricket and curling or golf and greyhounds, Top Sport will let you on for plenty. And with literally hundreds of markets from your own backyard to the international stage, Top Sport has you well covered. So if you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport.
Top that. Download the app today. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
All right, we said he'd be here, and he is. He's just showed up. We're going to dock his pay, but that's okay. Let's get into some footy, boys. What do you reckon?
We get paid, do we?
Yes.
Speak for yourselves.
First game, boys. Manly up against the Roosters Thursday night, 7:50 p.m. 4 Pines Park out there at Brookie. We spoke to Tristan before about the massive swing in the market here due to the Manly 7 not playing. $6.50 if you do like Manly, $1.12 for the Roosters, heavy favourites. The line went from, I think, what did he say, 2?
Yeah,
out to 18.5, so a massive swing there as well. $1.90 each, Manly at the plus and Roosters at the minus. Boys, thoughts? Not so much on the Rainbow Gate, but on the game itself now that Manly have lost 7 of their pretty good players.
Yeah, I would have tipped the Roosters to win
Anyway.
Yep. I think it would have been in a fairly close game. Having said that, DCE's at the moment, he's playing some terrific football, and you know he has the potential to change the game, but at the moment I can't see that happening at all. So, mate, a simple pick, little bit of Roosters. By how much?
Roosters are looking pretty full strength. Sorry, Ches, you go.
I was just about to say, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's not if they're going to win, it's going to be by how much. Yeah. Will it be a 19 plus? Will they win by 30, 36 points or something? Or will Manly come out and still fire strong and there'll be about 6 points in it?
That's weird how they play too. They could do that.
It has that. It could go either way.
I just think with all the build up from everything this week, Manly could come out hot. I don't know. It's just,
and it like almost to prove a point too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. We won't go through all the 7 that aren't playing for Manly, but just looking at Roosters there, boys, they're pretty much full strength. Manu returns back to the centres with Keary coming back after that head knock. Hutchinson dropping to the bench for his return. And Waria Hargrave's back. I think this is his first game back, is it? Second. He played last week, did he? He'll be better.
He was on the bench. He come from the bench last week, did he?
Yeah, and he had the old big drum beaters going at full time in the change sheds. He did.
Did he?
He did.
And Matt Lodge, I see there, is dropped off the bench. I think he's number. Oh no, he's on the bench. Sorry, number 17. He's on the bench, so he was pretty good too.
He's making some good runs. Big Lodgy.
Yeah,
it's good to see Manu back on the field with Keary there. I think if he's got to be very, very careful. I think if he gets another one of those, he might be in some big trouble. I think.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
But just say that did happen. Unfortunately, we don't want to see that happen. I think Manu would have slot straight in there anyway.
Well, I think there's talk of it.
Well, there has been talk, and there has been talk about possibly Cleary moving clubs.
Yeah.
For Manu to
move
slot in
into
there.
Well, Joey reckons they should put Keary to 7, Manu to 6, and Sam Walker 14. Bring him on around those tired forwards, bit of something different, just because he's a little bit more creative as well. So I didn't mind that take from the 8th.
I'd sort of prefer to see Connor Watson start too, instead of coming off at 14.
This is my multi, boys, I believe. I think, looking at that.
You're the boss.
Yep, no objections. All right. I've got Roosters head-to-head, a little 3-legger here. Roosters head-to-head, Joey Manu, 2 score out there in the centres, and also Joey Sawalu. Sawali.
Who?
Oh, I'm trying to pronounce it like the proper way anyway. To score 2 or more tries. So let me recap for you. Roosters head-to-head, Joey Manu, anytime try scorer. Joseph Suwali, 2 or more tries. $6.23.
So Sawali's the white pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly.
Next month it'll be Sawali Ii, like everyone else.
Let's move on to the next game, boys. Friday, 6 p.m. We'll just touch on this one. Warriors up against the Storm. Storm are on a 4-game skid. This one's being played at Mount Smart Stadium, which is great for the New Zealand fans. $4.50 around the Warriors, $1.21 the Storm are the favourites, 12.5 is the line, $1.95 at the plus for the Warriors, or $1.85 at the minus for the Storm. I think this might be the game, boys, where the Storm put a stop to their slide. What do you reckon?
Possibly, very possibly. They've been mucking up my tips last month.
It's their defence.
Big time.
Their stats, their running meters, their tackle bust, all that kind of stuff is still good. It's just their defence.
Yeah.
And they're just struggling with those outside backs. News today, boys, David Nofaluma is going there for the rest of the season from
Down
the Tigers. I think that comes into play next round 21 against the Titans. Pretty good pickup for the Storm. I know there's a lot of controversy around all this trading players and this kind of stuff. The Tigers wouldn't have done it if it didn't benefit them, and what it does with them is it gives them a bit of room in the cap, so they basically get $100,000 or whatever he's worth for 5-6 games taken off their cap, and that goes in the next year, so they can then prop up, an Adam Dewey or a Jackson Hastings or whatever it might be, and obviously, they thought about that, and the benefit outweighs the risk.
I think it'll be a good experience.
They might have a bit of spare cash to fling the bunker so they don't have any more shit calls on the 80th minute.
Maybe that's what they're going to do with Ashley Klein. Tip, boys, we'll just get a tip from you all.
Yeah, I'm going to go Storm. As much as I want to see the Warriors win at home, but I'm going to go
Good for them to win at home.
I'm going to go a roughie on this one. I reckon Melbourne are going to go 5 down.
Mix it up.
I'm going to go the Warriors here.
Well, the pressure's on. Pressure's on them.
100%. I'm going to go to Storm too. I don't know how much by though, but I've just gone 3 anytime try scorers here. 3 of my favourites: Justice Olam, my boy Jerome Hughes, and Harry Grant. I can see him darting over, sort of just out dummy half there. Did you see that last week?
You do love some Jerome Hughes, don't you?
How can you not? He gets across all the time. I reckon he would be the leading try scorer for halfbacks in the competition. Let's get a stat. Look up the stat while I'm talking. $20.74. I've gone big over there for New Zealand. I do love myself a bit of New Zealand. Olam, Hughes, Grant, all anytime try scorers, $20.74. 3 legs. Thanks, topsport.com.au. All right, we'll spend a bit more time on this one, boys. Second game on Friday night. Eels up against the Panthers. Combank Stadium, 7:55 p.m. Eels, $3.40 if you do like them. $1.32 for the Panthers there. The line is set at 9.5. Both at $1.90 here. The Eels at the plus, Panthers at the minus. I'll throw to you, Ches. So Umberto's still looking up that stat for me. Thoughts Parramatta are pretty ordinary last week. And Penrith just keep on rolling. Jerome Luai is out for about 6 weeks, though.
Yeah, they've been doing that thing what I call the level play, which me and Berto have been discussing last few weeks. Parramatta, they just tend to sit where the opposition is in the terms of the level of play and skill. This one here will give them a test. I think they can come out and play really well.
Well, they beat them earlier in the year, didn't they?
They did, and I think they definitely have the potential. They have a full squad too, pretty much. So they'll be pretty handy in a way. So Crichton's missing as well from that ear laceration.
Yeah,
I think once that heals, he'll look a bit like Evander Holyfield. I reckon will be.
Well, Birdo said in the first segment he should be wearing that Albert Kelly one piece. He used to wear that strap, or the old Scott Steiner wrestler. That's what he should have. So anyway, and looking there, Crichton's out as to is Mitch Kenny and Jerome Luai. So they've got a few of their top squad out.
Mitch Kenny's a big loss for them. It'll definitely favour Parramatta there. He's a workhorse, runs really strong. I'd like to see Parramatta win this. Really, really would. But I'm going to have to lean towards Panthers. You just.
Yeah, me too, I think. Berto? Got the answer to that set?
I got the answer to that, actually. Yeah, it is. The highest scoring half so far in 2022 is Jerome Hughes with 10 from 16. So it's not bad.
Not
Settle down. Just settle down.
It's about a 60% strike rate.
That's enough. So
I host this show. We'll just Mute your mic. Walk off. We're going to have a walk off.
No worries. Yeah, if Parramatta aren't going to win this game, I'd just like to see them at least get out there and have a crack.
Yeah,
you know,
competitive.
if they can keep it within, say, if they can match them, say 22-12, something like that.
Yep.
If they can match it, get in that physical grind, not so much win this game, but for all means set for the rest of the season.
Show a bit of heart.
Go, right, boys, if we're not going to win it, we're going to set this as our minimum standard. We're going to match them, and we're going to go from there. So,
Yeah, I think it'll be close too. As we said, they got the victory over them early in the year. Do you have something else, Ches, before I go to the mic?
No, mate, no.
I've gone Panthers 1-12. I think it'll be close. I don't usually pick that 1-12. I usually just go either the 13 plus or the head to head. I don't like that 1-12. It is exciting though when you're watching the game because you don't know who you're actually barracking for. But anyway,
tell me about it.
I've gone Panthers 1-12. Panthers first team to score and Isaac Tago to be one of those scorers. $9.49, 3 legs. Yeah, just a tick under that $10 mark.
So here we go. Panthers 1-12. If they get beaten 13 plus, I'll get a message straight away going, oh, no, you back Parramatta.
Fuck, they shit me. Next game, boys, we'll quickly touch on it, and only our respect for the guru. Titans up against the Raiders. Titans are going like busted this year, as we all know. Raiders have found a bit of form late and could sneak into that 8, depending on a few other results. Saturday, 3 p.m, Seabus Super Stadium up there at the Gold Coast. $2.90 for the Titans. Head-to-head, the Raiders are $1.42. 7.5 is the line, which I think is a bit skinny. I thought it would have been a bit more than that. Titans at the plus for $1.85 or the Raiders at the minus for $1.95. Thoughts, gents?
Yeah, I'd definitely go in Canberra here. One of those games too is going to be by how much, I think. I think they're going to put on a bit of a wash, I think, over the poor Gold Coast side. They're missing Sideshow Bobby. Won't be having any crack pipes at half time this week. So
What a goose. Honestly,
That
that should have been I thought that would have been your send-off.
No.
that was mine.
That was
That was mine.
So that's it was only a matter of time. As we've said, we've belted on about it that much that it's only a matter of time in my eyes because his stats have been poor. He's not achieving. He's injured not all the time, but he has been. He's had
He's
bad.
been around a long time. He's had 9 years at the Storm, and he's probably been up the Gold Coast for
6
or 5 maybe.
Yeah.
So he's well into his career.
So I think it was only a matter of time, mate, and that was just something. They're just waiting. Saw that. Thanks for coming, bro.
I reckon if you check the stat sheet next week, I reckon he'll probably have more post-contact meters than he did that game we went up and watched him. Even though he's not playing.
Yeah, very close anyway.
Darren Lockyer actually mentioned something that must have been yesterday, I think. He said players like this need to realise, don't put that stuff on social media. Don't be stupid. Why would you even think of doing that?
So basically,
But it's not one of those ones where someone else has done it. He's
him.
done it.
he's done it himself.
So you look at Todd
That's what
Carney,
he-
for example. Someone posted
Yeah,
that
yeah,
video
yeah.
of him. That's just an example.
Yeah.
He put it on himself, mate.
Yeah.
Fair dinkum.
I'll tell you what, 7 seconds of his life cost him his job.
Yeah.
At least it didn't cost him his sex life like it does to you. But anyway.
Damn Billy Goat. Anyway, that's enough of that trash. Points under 44.5.
Yep.
Xavier Savage to score at any time, and the Raiders to win by 13 plus, boys, and that's $12.47.
Nice. I'm going Raiders too.
Yeah, bit of savage action there. I like it.
Yeah, ooh, yeah.
no, Raiders.
That's your boy,
Oh, yeah,
Savage.
Raiders 13 plus in that one.
Yep.
This game I'm really looking forward to, boys. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. down there at Shark Park. Sharks up against Souths. Head-to-head, it's fairly close, probably closest of all the games this weekend. $1.70 for the Sharks, home team favourite. $2.15 for Souths. The line is only 2.5, so fairly close there. $1.90 each way. Sharkies at the minus, Souths at the plus there, of course. We touched on it earlier with Tristan, mate. Sharks are pretty good at home. They do lose Finu Kane due to that suspension, though. And just looking here at the South Sydney, Mark Nichols is out. Is he injured or has he been dropped?
Don't know. He might be
Doesn't say. He
might
is.
be on the couch with Matty Johns that night.
Yeah,
the
there we
professor.
go. Should be a good game.
Yeah, I think it'll be, in my eyes, this could be the game of the round. If Parramatta don't turn up, damn you, Parramatta. I think it'll be good. As I said before, there's just something about Cronulla at home. They're always strong.
Yep.
They've always got good fan base. They're always nice and loud, and they turn up. They have all year. Nico Hines has played some terrific football. He's fucking damn good at the moment. So, unfortunately for Melbourne, they just didn't have that room for him at the for a starting position.
Yeah.
So they've lost him.
They
but-
could use him now, couldn't they, with
Oh,
Paps out?
mate.
Did you see Paps' knee?
Yeah.
How many different things was it in there? There was like 4 or 5 different like different breaks.
Oh, yeah, it's shattered in 10 different places, I think it said.
'Cause it showed one.
Fella.
Showed the scan from Tedesco's back when he was with the Tigers, and his was just like a straight one.
Yeah.
and it showed
It was
Pappenhausen's, and it looked like
Shattered.
literally like someone dropped a glass,
Yeah.
and just
They said there was one of the betting agencies on social media said, "Is this the best X-ray you've seen?" I still think Ciasolioli's face takes the cream when he had it broken clean in half through the. But I'll tip. I'm going to. I'm going South. I'm going to tip South.
I reckon.
Damn, they're on a roll.
They are. I think this game will come down to the South halves. I think if Walker and Young Elias can perform like they have been, they're going to really give it to the Sharks. I think if they slump off, Sharks are going to run away.
Yep.
Yeah. Be a good battle of the halves because the Cronulla Sharks halves are going pretty well. Moylan and Hines, as you mentioned, Birdo, with that combination's going really well this year. A lot better than I thought it would. The boys, the player I like for the Sharks is the number 9, Blake Brayley. He's a good little player.
Yeah,
brother plays for Newcastle.
Their forwards are just going to do their job. I think it's going to come down to the South halves in this one. I don't know this one. This one's a bit hard. I'm going to have to lean with South only off current form.
They got some damn good momentum.
They do.
Before you came on, Ches, with Tristan, he was mentioned, we were talking about the market for the Premiership, and he said the South's about $15 and pretty good value there with the run. Hands up if you're on South for $15.
I got on them as soon as they beat Melbourne. I had a couple of sips and I got on them early. But that's my smoky for the year. Damn, they're playing good. Latrell's come back, mate. That dude is playing like a fucking machine. I think they'll go close.
Definitely seems on a mission. Your multi, mate.
It's my multi, boys. I'm going to go South Sydney head to head. AJ anytime try scorer. Connor Tracy anytime try scorer, boys. That's $7.46.
Very nice try scorer from each side. I do like that. Next game, Saturday, 7:35 at Suncorp Stadium, Broncos versus Tigers. Now, I don't know how long it'll be called Suncorp Stadium because NAB, I think it is, has put in a claim to try and buy Suncorp out. So it might be NAB Stadium in a few years. Heard it here first.
Hey, if not
breaking all the big stories
not
here.
us.
Breaking all the big stories, allegedly. Boys, $1.12 favourite, the Broncos, $6.25 outsiders are the Tigers, coming off that awful loss last week. 17.5, massive line here. $1.90 each way. Broncos at the minus and Tigers at the plus. Last week, boys, for the Tigers, I think can have one or two effects. It can deflate them and completely ruin their season, which is already pretty bad, or they can galvanise them and kind of say, well, everyone else is against us, let's have a go. I mentioned last week that Tigers are the type of team that could go up to Queensland and ambush the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Got blasted.
I was just about to mention that.
On YouTube by a comment. Thank you for all our watchers and listeners and comments on YouTube. We do love them. And I think he said that they'll go up there and win by 30 and to quote him on it. So
What are you boys smoking? Was one of his comments.
That was the opening line. We do love it. We appreciate it. Any feedback, please leave your comments there. But
I was going to reply.
I did say.
But I'd had a few electrolytes that night. I wasn't quite sure if it was suitable. So I just left it blank.
Yeah.
But
Can we name and shame?
We enjoyed it.
I'm happy to call it out, and it was good. I'm happy for him to have his opinion.
It was good. It was funny. It's
just good to see.
I just didn't want to sound like I was being nasty after.
I did just have to bite my tongue, and I nearly had a reply written just before that penalty got given. I tell you what, so I had to delete it. You boys keep going. I'll find you the name here.
I think that it's one of those funny things, like you said, Ches, whether they can come out with the wind in their sails, take some momentum from last week, take the positives. Because I tell you what, though, both sides were both super gracious. So James Tarmo was terrific, considering it was his 300th game. They basically robbed. He was relatively good about it. And Todd Payton said, what goes around comes around. We'll expect it because it'll happen. He basically admitted that, that they were super lucky, but at the same time he was saying, mate, this could happen to us as well. Yeah. So, and I applaud that because as a head coach who had his back against the wall all last year, got no rubber to green, this year he's got a little bit. So, within reason, but at the same time, mate, it's professional sport. That shouldn't be happening. Got
the comment here on YouTube. Widgety ditty whack. Boys, I'd love to get some of what you're smoking. The Tigers who go up there ambush the Cowboys. With the personnel the Cows get back at home, the Cows will win by 30 plus. Quote me. We just did. Send some more in. We love it. Keep it coming.
Get amongst it.
I can see Brisbane winning this one. Can't see the Tigers winning. I think Brisbane have got too much to play for to try and get in that in that finals hunt. Tigers do start putting on a trial or two. I think they're going to tighten right up. I can see Reynolds really controlling this game, and I think there might be some. I don't know. He might do like a lot of those early kicks. You know, sometimes he chucks them down like the second. Sometimes even on the second.
I like that.
Get those forwards
turn
spinning.
the forwards around.
Yep. And making those earlier meters out of their own half.
I'm going Broncos too.
Broncos for me. Boys, Corey Oates to score 2 or more tries. Broncos to win by 13 or more points. Broncos to be the first team to score. Total points over 44.5. $5.12. So struggle to get a little bit of value there for a four-legger, but at the same time, trying to be safe.
Yeah. Moving on to our Sunday games. Knights up against the Bulldogs. And again, the Bulldogs start favourite here. Sunday, 2 p.m, McDonald Jones Stadium. $2.75 if you like the Knights. Bulldogs are the favourites away from home here. $1.45. Probably about the third time this year they started favourites. 6.5 is the line. $1.90 each plus for the Knights, minus for the Bulldogs. A little touch on this, boys. I'm just going to give my tip. I think the Bulldogs will be too strong. No Ponga, probably for the rest of the season with all those head knocks, which I think is the right call. He's had 5 or so this season and failed 3. And the one last week from Lodge didn't look like much. I know it's easy for us to say we didn't cop the hit, but compared to some others, it didn't look too bad. And he went down and failed that GIA as well.
Depends on how you look at that too. You go and ask Boyd Cordner.
Yeah, exactly.
So if Boyd Cordner had taken those precautions, then maybe he might still have 2 more years in him. For example, Jake Friend, very similar. If they had taken those precautions early in their career, which Ponga is early in his career, does that then put an extra 2 years on his,
at the back end,
just in case he does get a couple more? Rather than having a 5-year career, he could have a 9-year career.
Well, they've just signed him for 5 years or something. So
there you go.
They want to protect their investment.
Absolutely,
Their season's gone. There's no point putting him out there this year.
Yeah, mate, it's intelligent business.
Yeah.
My multi boys.
Hit us.
I got the Bulldogs at the line -6.
6.5 it's gone out to now. Sorry.
Oh, has it?
Yep.
Got
By the time I put it on, sorry.
That's right. I know these last night I did.
Yep.
That's why. Now, Josh Addo-Carr, any timer, with Edric Lee and Jakey Avarillo, who's back playing fullback this week, so I thought I'd chuck him in there.
Good footy.
And I got Matty Burton to kick a bomb and land on the moon. No, if only there was a leg for that one. No, those 4 legs, boys, are paying $10.37.
Nice.
So Bulldogs -6.5 now. Avarillo, Edric Lee, or Booker Lee, and Addo-Carr, the Fox.
Yeah, nice.
I like it. Last game of the round to round out round 20. A lot of rounds there. Dragons v the Cowboys, Sunday, 4 p.m, Net Strata, Jubilee Stadium. Head-to-head, Dragons outside is $3 and the Cowboys are $1.39. The line is set at 7.5. $1.95 for the Dragons, $1.85 for the Cowboys at the minus. This should be an interesting game to close out the round, I reckon, boys. The Cowboys struggled a bit last week up there against the Tigers, as we all know. Only just got the victory you shouldn't have, blah, blah, blah. But the Dragons have lost a bit of personnel there. Looking at Cody Ramsey's out. Moses Mbai moves to fullback, which I don't really like. Bird to centre to cover something else there as well. So, yeah. Thoughts?
I think this could be a bounce back from the Cowboys. They played horrible last week.
Get back on track, you reckon?
The first half, they were at 50% completion, which Todd Payton, if he had hair, he would have been pulling it out. Drinky was very quiet, considering how solid Drinky's been over the last
made a few errors
15,
last week too.
Yeah, 15 rounds, if not longer. He's been super consistent, if not one of the most consistent all year, so to speak.
Yeah.
But then again, too, mate, St George turn up at home, so it's a tricky one. But I'm going to let the market influence me, and I'm going to go to Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Cowboys too. Unchanged lineup here. Just looking, Ruben Cotter's been named in the reserves. I wouldn't risk him. It's a hamstring. They have a tendency to coming back. They're in the top 3. They're running second, are they?
They are, yep.
Yeah. Save him.
You want him for the
Give him 2
finals.
weeks off and save him for the finals run, 100%. I'm going to Cowboys too. Your multi Ches to round us out. Your thoughts.
Yeah, mate, I can see the Cowboys winning this one. I just can't see them losing to the Dragons after last week's game. They've got to bounce back. They've been playing so well. That was just one of those one-off games in my eyes. Now, this multi here, get a pen and paper. This one's a bit different. So we Got the Cowboys at the line giving the Dragons 7.5 start. Murray Tulagi, anytime try scorer. The Hammer, anytime try scorer. And then the Cowboys to win the first half.
That's not too bad.
And
Oh, here we go.
the Cowboys to be leading at halftime by -3.5. So they've got to be leading by 4 points.
Right.
A little bit tricky there. That's only paying $7.76 for all
well.
those legs. So,
Tricky game.
yeah.
Tricky.
So I'm expecting Cowboys to have a really big first half.
Was it
In other
3.5
words.
they've got to be leading by, did you say?
Yeah,
3.5,
yeah.
-3.5.
Yeah, -3.5 at
First half
halftime.
handicap.
Yep.
Nice. All right, that rounds out all the games, boys. I'm looking forward to a few. Probably half those games this weekend I think will be really good, really competitive games, and the other 4 might swing the other way. A bit like yourself.
I'm not going to say it.
Nice rainbow hat. But what we do need to do, boys, is get on to the Guru's bet. He sent through one. He come up a bit short last week. I think he missed his first leg with Parramatta head-to-head. Didn't start off the round too good for him. But anyway, not to worry. We're going to give him another shot because he's going pretty well for the charities, which is great. He's gone Suwali anytime try scorer. He's doubled that into the Roosters head-to-head. He's then added in under 41.5 points in the Parra v Panthers game. So he thinks that's going to be a tight contest, nice and defensive game, which I think it very well could be. And he's also gone Matt Burton, anytime try scorer. So 4 legs, multied them all up, $8.69, dinner for 2.
It's not bad.
Not bad for the Guru there.
One thing about Bimrogation, that bloke can punt.
I've noticed that the Gazelle has been putting in a few Roosters leagues lately. I don't know. He might be
getting on
wanting
board, getting on the-
might be getting rid of that green and gold Guernsey and chuck it on the red, white and blue.
He might be
All
trying
aboard.
to. I think he might be just trying to suck up to Rug down there at the railway. That's all that is. I think.
I think he's just trying to take your spot on the show, to be
Could
honest. We need a Roosters fan, so he's trying to muscle his way in. Anything else, boys, before we wrap up round 20 podcast?
Let's do it.
No, thanks again to Tristo. I didn't get to see him before. Hawkeye and the boys down at the Whitebull. Thanks again. Delicious as always.
Oh, stubby lid rating for yourself?
Oh, let's go with 4.
Yep.
It is growing on me. So that first sip was a bit harsh.
100%.
No,
Put her
it's
in
not too bad.
I did a big spill on it. It's got to be in an open glass. Pour a couple in there tonight, mate. Have a couple of them. See how you go.
Bit like pubic hair when you're 13, starting to grow on you.
Getting those, I was gonna say
Too many hormones in chicken these days, mate. It's that age is dropping.
getting those dots coming out everywhere. Just check they're not down on the old fur. It might be that monkeypox that's going around. Don't forget your tips either, because don't forget your tips.
Who won the knockout round?
Because there's only a few rounds left, so it's getting pretty tight up the top there. But no one can put any more knockout tips in because someone won that. So
What are you going to do?
what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
All on black.
Might donate to the charities, eh? We'll put
What's
it on,
that?
Yeah, with your money from the knockout
yeah.
comp, we'll donate it to the
Charities.
Straight on red.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
charities.
Then on
Yeah,
charities.
charity is red.
No, go red. Then when it wins, then you give that to charity and we'll drink the rest.
So I did say last year if I won any footy tipping money, I was going to donate that to the charities.
Yeah.
So this
Let's do
year,
that.
exactly the same. Donate it back to the charities.
We better wrap up. We'll run out of tape otherwise. Enjoy the footy this week. As always, should be some cracking games. Let us know your thoughts, comments on any of our YouTube posts. We do love that interaction. You might get a shout out and we won't blast you like we did. And gamble responsibly if you do have a punt. And as always, don't eat your soup with a fork.